Welcome to Srpg Plus. Today we're going to be doing a review of the new Spyro Reignited Trilogy. It just came out a couple of weeks ago from Toys for Bob and Activision. Now this game has been a big topic since the Crash Bandicoot trilogy came out last year. I know personally that I was expecting this to come out, and I was very excited because I do much enjoy Spyro games over Crash games. You know, there's a lot more to be done in these games. Sometimes it feels a little bit simpler in the Spyro realm, depending on which game you're playing for Crash and for Spyro. But altogether, I think that remaking these games is an homage that should have been done a long time ago. But I'm glad that it happened when it did, so that we can get the nice rendition that we have here today to play with. I feel more work was put into the first game in remastering it, adding all new artwork, the dragons, and the remade character sprites for all of them. I really enjoyed the focus and the commitment that they put towards that game. It wasn't rushed, everything was planned out to the T with the game. I feel like the other two games, Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, didn't have that feel to them, that everything was surefire and committed towards. Some things felt rushed in those games. One thing that I felt was rushed and I didn't enjoy was some of the voice acting in the third game. And the second game, they didn't seem as compelled. It felt like it was more something that they had to do versus something that had emphasis behind it. But I already did put 24 hours into this trilogy. Personally, I had a great time with it no matter what, because these are all, minor things that aren't too critical. Altogether with these games, they're exactly what you want, they're exactly what you need. I personally have put in the time to get all of the trophies for both the first Spyro game and the second Spyro game. And with that experience and getting those trophies, I can say that I did have a memorable and enjoyable time over the game itself, because it does add a little bit more emphasis on doing new challenges, things like that, especially with Spyro 2. I felt like I enjoyed those games and those mini games. Getting 100% in that game and getting all the trophies was a good experience in that game, because they were a little more obscure. And for example, the reason why I'm going into this obscurity is that for Spyro 3, almost every trophy is acquired through the process of getting 100% in the game, which isn't bad, and I understand that most games work that way, but for a game that is a 100% based game and to beat the final boss you have to 100% the game, I think that it may have been more enjoyable to add challenges that were a little more difficult or out of the ordinary to go for. So like, for example, instead of having to destroy every enemy in a level, you could do something where you have to destroy them in a specific order or with a specific move type. I know a lot of this did happen in Spyro 2 and in Spyro 1, but with Spyro 3 it was just destroy these enemies, do this thing, do that thing, but you're already doing these things to get 100% and getting the trophies. So I thought that was an area that needed a little bit more improvement. With getting with that experience, it could have been a lot more enjoyable with having new opportunities and new places to go. But they did add the skill point booklet that you can use in the original game, which is really cool, because then you can find all these brand new sort of secrets that they really don't do anything. They just get you a free life. But it's cool to see that they added that kind of thing into the game. At the end of the day, overall, the experience I had was very memorable. Just like the original time I touched the PlayStation 1 and began the experience of playing this game, reliving this was, a very big joy to me. And I'm happy to have archives of these games now as digital remasters. Personally, I did not have physical copies of the original games that worked. I did have each physical copy, but not all of them worked, and I feel like that's always been an issue with me. But now that I have these remastered games, I can archive them and play them whenever I want in the future. I feel that some level of detail diminishes as you get into the older games, but these minor details aren't something that we should focus on very thoroughly, but instead understand for either updates or new remasters that come in the same sort of light as the Spyro one, trying to do something different and add more character to what was already placed into the foregrounds for the game. If these sort of things are worked upon and they are mastered throughout the years, I feel like new remaster games like the Final Fantasy VII or any remaster they may want to make, it's gonna come with very, specific commitments that they make, but also to have that realm of freedom to add artistic background to the options that they make, I think would be a very, very enjoyable experience. But anyway, this is Srpg Plus. I just wanted to give a quick conversation about this game. I haven't been live streaming the third Spyro Year of the Dragon. Hopefully I can get the other half of that game done in one fell sweep. But thanks again for checking in, guys, and you guys have a great rest of your weekend.